we're going to veer just a little bit. For me, it was a moment that I'll never forget because it was my graduation in pro wrestling. Some of you may or may not know that I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And the day my professor, Andre Santos, put that black belt around my waist, it was just like 10, 11 years of hard work, to get to this point where the guy who I look up to and respect says, you're on this level now, We were on tour in Europe, and this was when I was feuding with Benoit. I was working with him every night, and he had asked for permission from the office for us to go 20 minutes every night, So I never had less than a 15-minute match with Benoit. Our matches usually were 15 to 20, sometimes more. But I needed that, like that baptism by fire, so to speak. And I will tell you, I have had real fights that were easier than some of the matches that I had with Benoit. Because he had two speeds, hard and harder, So he was the veteran. He had the experience, and he would lead me. But he was the babyface. Traditionally in pro wrestling, the heel leads the match. Traditionally. And, he was very old school in his approach. And he was not one of the guys to talk about a match for 30 minutes beforehand. Or, you might be, if you get 10 minutes to talk about what we might do, that was a lot. We know what the finish is. Might talk about a break spot. Let's go out there and work. So I remember he used to frustrate Michael Hayes because, Michael was our producer and he'd come over. All right, what you got from Benoit? I don't know. God damn it, Benoit, give me something. He goes, I don't know. We're going to go out there and work. The finish will be the flying headbutt. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. God damn it, Benoit, give me something, man. Because, they need it, for the trucks and angles and all that, But these were all live events in Europe. And it was the last night in Italy. Benoit came and said, Hassan, tomorrow I want you to do me a favor. He said, I want you to call the match. He said, right or wrong, I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. And we'll fix it afterwards. But you call the match.
So you've got 24 hours notice.
You call the match. He said, I want you to do me a favor. Don't ask any of the producers for any help or anything. I want you to call it from your heart. Well, for me, that wasn't hard because he used to be my favorite wrestler. I've watched hours and hours of tapes of Benoit in Japan, Benoit in WCW, WWE. When I was, bouncing at a club and I'd be at my post, you think I'm watching what's going on. I'm in Korakuen Hall wrestling with Benoit. I'm somewhere else. So I've wrestled him hundreds of times in my head before we actually started wrestling. So to call a match, like, I got this, And it was in Vienna, Austria. And that was the night that I called the match. And he said, call it to me like I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm going to do whatever. And I called the match. And I remember I was having fun with him too, because he was giving me his chops. And I was like, lay him in, Benoit. Stop chopping like a bitch. Lay him in, And
you took the opportunity to take it there.
I was going there. And he's giving me the little lopsided grin. But man, I used to have...
Were you nervous, P, like the night before? No nerves.
I wasn't nervous. Because, like I said, I know this guy. Okay. I know his stuff. I've been dreaming about wrestling him, and now I am. And now he's saying, okay, you call it. Let's have the match you want to have. I've done this hundreds of times in my head, And I knew the respect that I was getting from him to say, you're in charge tonight. And remember, I had the zipper on my suit. I still have scars on my chest from where the chops, that zipper would cut me open. So my chest would be bleeding from that zipper from the chops. And I remember, calling the Germans and I said, all right, go for the diving headbutt. And when he went up, I remember rolling out of the way and thinking, boy, I hope he's not mad at me. I hope he's not mad at me. And it was funny because afterwards I asked him, I said, hey, man, when I rolled out of the way on the diving headbutt, what were you thinking? And he smiled. He goes, what's next?
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Like, he was into it too. And we had a great match. And when we got back through the curtain, I'm pretty sure it was Tony Gurria who came over and said, oh, my guys, that was a great match. And Benoit was, he called that whole fucking thing. He called that match. He called it. And I was like, yeah, you know. And he hugged me and he was like, fuck yeah, man. I'm so fucking proud of you, man. Yes, yes. And he said, not that I didn't trust you. He said, but now I know I can have complete faith in just letting you call the match. And I can just be a baby face. I can just sell. I don't have to worry. I can just let you call the match, be the heel, and lead the match. And I remember just feeling this level. This is my favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
This is the guy who used to fantasize about wrestling. And him telling me, like, you're here. You're on the level. You're in charge now. And man, I'm like, I'm floating, man. And I remember I walked back to the locker room and Taker was getting taped up. And Taker looked over at me and he said, well, little brother, looks like you had a graduation tonight. Welcome.
Oh my God. So was he, so he was watching?
Yeah. He watched. And Benoit told him, I'm going to let him call the match tonight.
Oh.
I think he told a few of the guys, you know, tonight's his night, you know. So I say that in pro wrestling, that's the night that I got my black belt.
10-4.
I got my black belt from Undertaker and Chris Benoit in Vienna, Austria. That was the night. And that was the night that I really felt like, okay, I'm here now. I've made it. Two of the absolute best to have ever done this thing have said, welcome. You're one of us now. You're here.